Nepal witnessed one of its most significant youth-led uprising in decades. What began as a government attempt to enforce compliance from global tech companies quickly spiraled into deadly protests, curfews, and a national debate on democracy in the digital age. The unrest underscored the powerful role of social media not merely as a communication tool but as a lifeline for identity, dissent, and mobilization. On September 4th, Nepal's Ministry of Communication ordered internet providers to block 26 major platforms, including Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, WhatsApp, and X, for failing to register with the government. Officials cited a Supreme Court directive and need to curb misinformation and cybercrime. TikTok and Viber, which complied, were spared. For a country where nearly half the population is under 30 and reliant on digital platforms for learning, freelancing, and entrepreneurship, the ban felt existential. Overnight, businesses, classrooms, and activist spaces were disrupted. The National Human Rights Commission warned the decision risked violating constitutional freedoms. Instead of quiet compliance, outrage followed. Tens of thousands of young Nepalis poured into the streets of Kathmandu and other cities, denouncing censorship and corruption. Protesters have also set fire to the Nepali Congress Party's office. On digital platforms accessed via VPNs, hashtags like Nepo Kid and Nepo Babies trended, targeting politicians' children, accusing them of thriving on privilege. With youth unemployment at 9.2% and many forced into precarious work, including mercenary jobs in the Ukraine-Russia conflict, the resentment ran deeper. Families of Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli, former premiers Sher Bahadur Deoba and Pushpa Kamla Dahel Prachanda were singled out. The Nepo Kid campaign, influenced by global debates on nepotism, struck a chord with Nepal's Gen Z, connecting the ban to wider frustration over corruption and elite privilege. On September 8, thousands marched towards the parliament, demanding the ban's reversal. Security forces responded with water cannons, tear gas, and live ammunition. At least 19 people were killed and more than 300 people injured. Images of bloodied protesters spread globally through VPNs and underground networks. Curfews only deepened the anger, exposing Nepal's fragile democracy. Several high-profile resignations took place. Home Minister Ramesh Lehkak stepped down on September 8th, taking moral responsibility for the deadly crackdown that left at least 19 protesters dead and hundreds injured. Agriculture Minister Ramnath Adhikari and Health Minister Pradeep Paudel also resigned today in wake of the government lifting the ban and initiating an investigation into the violence. In a dramatic turn of event, PM Oli has also resigned and is likely to flee to Dubai, as per sources. Tribhuvan International Airport in Kathmandu has cancelled all flights, leading to an airport closure today following a major security concern. Amid mounting violence and global condemnation, the government reversed the course. On September 9th, Communication Minister Prithvi Sobha Gaurang announced lifting the ban, along with free medical care for the injured, compensation for the victim's family, and a 15-day investigation. The swift U-turn highlighted the power of youth mobilization, the largest rebellion since Nepal's democratic movements of the 1990s and 2000s. The 5-day blackout devastated Nepal's fragile digital economy, hurting freelancers, entrepreneurs, and small businesses. Politically, it marked a generational awakening. For Nepal's Gen Z, social media is not entertainment but a platform for justice and community. Their mobilization showed that digital restrictions will be met with fierce resistance. Civil society groups agreed that regulation is needed to curb hate speech and crime, but blanket bans are counterproductive. The National Human Rights Commission urged measured approaches, while watchdogs like the Committee to Protect Journalists condemned the ban as an assault on free expression. Nepal's social media ban and its reversal were more than a political misstep. They marked a turning point in democratic journey. Efforts to control tech backfired, sparking a youth-led uprising that tied digital freedom directly to democracy. While restrictions have ended, grievances over corruption and elitism remain. The lesson is clear. In today's world, social media is not a luxury but a necessity. For a generation determined to have its voice heard, silencing platforms will only ignite resistance. That is all from me today. This is Nidhi for the Asian Chronicle.